I can't unhear the "Let's get a mole, mole, mole."
All right, over here at the left side of Belcher Beach is
MarineKing Prime Wing.
a player who has a pretty good record in TVT. He's beaten some very strong Terran versus Terran players in past series. He beat Nada famously.
Yeah, watch
when he
that
was in Code S.
series.
That was awesome. But can he beat this new school Terran?
Slayers TaeJa.
There's TaeJa, who also is very good at Terran versus Terran.
Well, Slayers players have this unique style of TVT, and they've actually pushed forward the new style. And when you watch a Slayers Terran play, in general, you see this new mech style, and now you see it a lot more with other teams as well. But just recently, it's been all over the news. Like that's what I was about to say. I mean, it's just like everywhere, everyone's using it. And when you see a Slayers player play, it's like a tongue twister. When you see that,
how many Slayers players does a Slayers player play?
I don't know, man. In the Super Tournament, they played against each other a lot. Well, just hold everything, because MarineKing is actually going to be going Command Center first.
Wow.
And this is going to get really weird.
This might get weird, man. Yeah, this is not a map.
No, it's not a good map for this at all.
This is not a map where you can defend this very easily.
It's a wide open natural. I mean, it's going to be one of the last things TaeJa expects, but even so.
But he's going to scout it, so now he doesn't have to expect it. He knows it. And is he going to do something about it is the question. He's already gotten 1 Rax, but I think MarineKing was hoping he would 1 Rax expand and he would just like take the econ lead by going a little bit later with his Rax. But Marine is out. He's making more Marines. He's going to try and rally them up here and try and do something to pressure MarineKing.
Well, unfortunately for TaeJa, he went for a 1 barracks expand.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be able to use tech to punish MarineKing. He's just going to... Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say he's just going to have to tech up normally and hope that he can do it a little bit faster than MarineKing.
Yeah, which is what MarineKing was hoping for.
Exactly.
So, well played, MarineKing. Well played.
A risky build, but sometimes you take risks and they pay off.
Yep. Sometimes you get cocky and you take risks and they don't pay off because people know you're going to take risks.
Well, we are going to see this Command Center finish just barely. Kind of surprised that SCV isn't making a bunker.
That Command Center was that SCV's life's work.
I'm so weirded out by the fact that TaeJa didn't try to make the bunker. He actually could have easily made a bunker there. Second Marine arriving here.
Yeah, he's like just attacking the orbital with the SCV instead, which attacking the orbital actually does 0 good.
Yeah.
He's not going to kill the orbital. Like, at least go for the depot or try and pin MarineKing in or something.
And now MarineKing with his barracks finishing is going to be able to thwart this attack.
That was a little bit interesting of a response by TaeJa, but...
Now back at home for TaeJa, he's adding his additional 2 barracks.
MarineKing's like, oh, now I'm going to have to spend like 25 minerals to repair that.
If he wants to.
If he wants to.
He'd probably just ignore it.
Actually, pro players generally don't repair things unless they think they're going to need to. Just because then it's like, all right, well, that building could easily go the whole game and be fine as long as I play perfectly from now on. And so the idea is, well, I should use those resources in order to play more perfectly so I don't need to repair it in the first place.
Yeah, and on top of that, in the early game, those minerals are so much more important than they are in the late game, so he doesn't want to affect his build really by just adding a few minerals lost by repairing a command.
Sometimes it bites them in the butt later on, though.
Yeah, that
when they leave a building at half health and it is targeted down very easily.
See in PvP sometimes when pylons get targeted by probes, I can come to play. Hate that.
Just ignore their scouting probe because it's like, oh, they're just attacking a pylon, then suddenly your pylon's at half health.
Then you find out that there was a 2-gate proxy you just didn't quite find, and then
It's okay, Wolf.
Well, combat shields in late for both these guys immediately, doing very similar builds. Of course, the difference being that MarineKing made his command center before his barracks. And very similar Marine counts for these guys, 14 and 14, similar worker counts. So we're basically at the point where this is as mirror as it gets.
It's interesting that TaeJa is building a bunker right now. I guess he just doesn't know what to expect from MarineKing. He doesn't know what his follow-up has been. Theoretically, he should have more stuff than MarineKing by the time he gets to his base.
Yeah, well, what's
earlier, but
MarineKing is doing right now with his Marines is he's taking the watchtowers, and he's attacking and saying, well, if you didn't add barracks and you were teching, you might actually be in trouble
That's
from
true.
this attack. But since TaeJa did not, TaeJa's actually going to have more Marines to defend. He's going to defend this easily. A nice splitting by MarineKing. Neither player really wanting to commit to this attack.
Yeah. I'm actually... Yeah, there we go.
MarineKing
All right.
attacks will be a huge mistake.
I was like, I don't know why TaeJa isn't putting his injured Marines in the back. He did actually do that right as I was about to say it. So, but yeah, about even Marine counts, which means that if MarineKing can attack because TaeJa does have that bunker, so that'll win him the day. And he even puts the injured Marines in the bunker. So, Gosu.
That was pretty smart. You know, I was kind of surprised that TaeJa didn't react quicker and say, oh, I have more Marines here, and just attack into MarineKing's Marines and win that fight. But,
Yeah.
you know, maybe he wasn't absolutely sure. Didn't know how many reinforcing Marines were going to come. And also the potential of stim is pretty scary as well.
Yeah, it'd be pretty tricky for MarineKing to have a stim by now, but they are both getting stim at the moment. And, I mean, yeah, he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. He didn't even get his SCV into MarineKing's base after that initial pressure. So
Yeah,
he didn't know if it was like an expand tech build, which would be risky, but you know might catch him off guard. He didn't know if it was just like mass bio. He had no idea.
I'm really critical of TaeJa's SCV and that initial pressure.
Yeah, that
He's
was
done so much more.
That was just really weird. Anyway, lots of Marines coming out from MarineKing Prime, living up to his name,
Yeah.
kinging up those Marines. He's actually going to take down the rocks with the gold. Doesn't mean he's necessarily going to take the gold right now, but it's like, well, if you have an army around, you might as well make use of it to clear something out like that.
Watchtower battle here. Both players controlling extremely well, neither losing a Marine.
Yeah, that was actually pretty impressive. MarineKing trying to use the vision advantage to get a couple extra hits off on those Marines being in the bushes.
MarineKing is actually making 2 more reactors. He's going to have 3 barracks with reactors and 1 with a tech lab. He's going to be able to make a ton of Marines. Meanwhile, he's making medevac, so he's really sticking to his style.
Wow.
And
Actually,
TaeJa is
both kind of doing the same
yeah,
thing.
TaeJa is doing the exact same, but TaeJa has actually more barracks. He's not planning on taking a 3rd very quickly like MarineKing is. Look at that sick concave on those destructible rocks. Oh, the stutter step micro.
Oh my god, MarineKing's micro against those rocks was so good.
It was so good.
Okay, so here's the deviation that we're seeing now as well. TaeJa getting siege mode. He's going to start putting out siege tanks, and you know what? When it's Marines versus Marines and siege tanks, the Marines and siege tanks win.
That's true. Excuse me, that's
Generally, that's going to be the case, just because the the tank splash does just so much to large ranks of Marines.
We may have our first battle here in the middle of the map. Both guys kind of posturing around that watchtower with very similar Marine counts. 60 to 59 with MarineKing in the lead. That is a lot of Marines. And as far as units lost go, both players have lost 1 Marine and an SCV each, I believe. It's both having 100 units lost. That's it. No real units lost. Both players being so safe and patient about this game. And they're playing the exact same style.
They both have stim now, so if it does get into a battle situation, it's going to be basically even. They've got the same upgrades as well. It's going to come down to positioning. If one player can get a better concave, they're going to just win the battle and might even actually be able to take the game, depending on how badly they win it.
Look at this. Both players seeing very similar amounts of Marines to hold the watchtowers. Wow. This is so great. And another thing about the battle is the better concave is the most important thing, but on top of that, whoever stims first is going to get a slight advantage. In some cases, because of course, just depending on how many Marines engage how many Marines. If it's a similar number, the stim first is going to be like an old Western movie. But if you stim first and your opponent has more Marines than you, then that won't work out in your favor, of course. Well, MarineKing has finally secured the gold.
Oh,
he's very nervous about TaeJa. And he should be, because TaeJa has 2 tanks with siege mode. And he's just going to slowly push his way up here. If he holds the watchtower, here we go, it's our first engagement.
And here's the thing is, TaeJa, he's got the advantage here. He can just siege up one of those tanks within range of that orbital at the 3rd, and he has the advantage.
Oh, is he going to get the orbital? He gets it.
So many Marines to snap that orbital out of the air very quickly.
MarineKing trying to do a counterattack here, but TaeJa knows that's going to be going on. Now MarineKing hasn't stimmed yet, so he still has a lot more hit points on his Marines. TaeJa stims and chases, catches the medevac, but that's 2 stims now. He's got to be very careful. MarineKing having a much better concave, but there are siege tanks in siege mode.
Exactly. TaeJa can just fall back into his tank line, but MarineKing's just going to do his normal style here and go for the huge drop. He says, all right, you've got a tech advantage, I've got the mobility advantage. I'm going to just drop your main and kill everything. And TaeJa's having a hard time getting back here. His Medivacs has not healed his Marines up just yet, but he's got a superior force because his entire army is here, and he has a better concave. I don't know who's going to win this battle. It's so close, it looks like barely. TaeJa is going to come out ahead just because he is bringing his whole army back here, and MarineKing did not. And wow.
MarineKing engaged that pretty well, but like you were saying, it's just the fact that there were just simply more Marines really changed the tide. Right now, I'll give you guys some Marine counts. 65 Marines for TaeJa to 54 of MarineKing. That just changed to 63 as about 8 Marines popped out.
Wow, so they're
6 tanks though out for TaeJa, and MarineKing's got nothing but 63 Marines, 5 Medivacs, and 63 SCVs.
Yeah, and MarineKing lost a Medivac or 2 in that battle as well. Now, TaeJa's Marines are all very badly hurt though, so here is another battle of better concave for TaeJa, plus the tanks there. He doesn't even have time to siege them up, but it doesn't even matter. MarineKing's Marines fall. He cuts through them like a hot knife through butter. And MarineKing's going to get chased back, and I think that might just end the game right here because now MarineKing has like 10 Marines left.
And he doesn't have any defender's advantage because he doesn't have any siege tanks.
Exactly. TaeJa can just run in there, and all he has to do is just siege up within range of the buildings, and he automatically has the advantage. He's forcing MarineKing to engage, which will be at a bad engagement for him.
And he gets the only tech lab of MarineKing. No siege mode for MarineKing. No more tanks after his initial one here, and this command center is going to eventually fall. Meanwhile, MarineKing is trying to
He should have repaired that orbital. Yeah, it is going to go down. It looks like MarineKing is probably going to lose this game here in just a minute. He's mass repairing that orbital to try and keep it alive, to try and keep it mining, but the advantage of those siege tanks in siege mode is just too great.
Now, MarineKing is going to be able to sneak around. This is something that he likes to do a lot when he's losing TVTs, because sometimes he can win in those base race scenarios. He's going to do a massive counterattack, but guess what? TaeJa has siege tanks.
Yeah. Here's TaeJa's last push into the main of MarineKing. MarineKing has nothing to defend. His SCVs are desperately trying to defend, but that lone siege tank is not doing enough damage to do anything. All the SCVs die, and MarineKing's counterattack is going to get obliterated by siege tanks. GG, MarineKing goes down.
Showing
TaeJa takes the first game.
Even though he is the Marine King, sometimes even the kings of Marines can make mistakes with their Marines that have bad concaves, odd engagements.
TaeJa just out-marined MarineKing there, man.
Yeah, man. He showed that he may actually be the Prince of Marines.
And it all came down to that one engagement where MarineKing was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to be tricky, and you just chased me away. You think I'm gone. I'm now going to drop in your main because your army's out in the middle of the map. And he went in there. That was a good move. It was a smart move to like use the mobility that he had. He's like, all right, you're dependent on your siege tanks. I'm going to go in your main. But then he didn't do some damage and get out.
Yeah.
Or move the rest of his Marines in, or something else that would make that battle a little bit more even. And so instead he just waited around for TaeJa's whole army to surround his smaller army.
And then do the same thing again when, TaeJa wanted to engage and MarineKing had a smaller army. And so that's just it. I mean, when the Marine counts are, very... When you have Marine on Marine, the number of Marines is so important. Even 5 Marines different makes such a huge difference. The concave makes a huge difference. If you have twice as many Marines as your opponent, I mean, it's going to be much easier for you to get a concave. That's much better. To put it simply.
So very nicely done. And of course, siege tanks.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking.
Siege tanks are just really good against Marines.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's very simple, actually. I don't know what to say except that I'm a little bit disappointed in MarineKing. I mean, it's very simple. If you do that Marine style, you eventually do have to get siege tanks, and MarineKing showed no willingness to do that. And he only started siege tank production when TaeJa was at his
dead,
base,
basically.
killing him.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We're going to have JYP versus Violet, another crucial match coming up here pretty soon. Don't go anywhere.